Is this thing on?
We are live.
About time you figured out how to click that live button. How we doing, everybody? We got
Hey,
Tanya
what's up,
here.
everybody?
Hopefully,
Hey,
everybody else
Tanya.
will pile in and join in. This is going to be a good one tonight.
Yeah.
Coming off of a trip from last weekend down at Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway down in Slade, Kentucky. Chris, myself, rode in my truck. We had Jeremy from All Things Outdoors. We had Lance from Outlan Adventures. They will be joining us here in just a few, and a couple of other people. I don't think Sparky's going to be able to join us. Maybe. The other two guys will not be able to, but we have a story to tell you. Lots of fun, lots of, tearing our trucks and Broncos and Jeeps up. I mean, good times. So,
Mine's not torn up because I didn't take mine.
Yeah. No, you have a little PTSD, we'll get you into therapy for riding with me for a weekend off-road. That will scare anybody. Hey, Stoney, what's up?
What's up, Stoney?
Glad you could join us. But this is gonna be a good show tonight. We had a great time. This was a well-needed trip, and I don't know, it's a pretty good experience too. I've been wanting to do the byway for quite a while. If anybody doesn't know what the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway, if they could have made a harder name for that one, what that actually is, it's a road, like paved road, gravel, dirt, off-road, you name it. It's approximately 100 miles right around in the Slade, Kentucky, I want to say Manistee County area down there. But we ended up doing, just on the Red River Gorge. We did, I think, almost all 100 miles. At different times you've been down there. If you've been on, like, I can't remember the highways, 15, 11, some of that is part of the byway. So I don't think we did all 100 miles of it. We have, I've been down there before, but nonetheless, it was a great time. We were down there for 2 days, 3 nights, 3 nights, 3 days, something like that.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Right. We came home Sunday. You and I did a little hike where we held hands on Sunday. But hey, up Trail 71. Hopefully he's getting thawed out up there by this time of year.
Exactly. Okay, so do we want to bring our guests in?
Let's bring them in. Let's get this show on the road, man. We have some great stories to get to.
Go for it.
No one said anything about your new hairdo, Chris.
Hey, man. I like that's my favorite part right there. Okay, let me add Lance first. Bam.
Bam. What's up?
And Jeremy, bam. What's up, Rough Rider?
What's going on?
Rough Rider.
Hey, Crow.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Crow's
on. Thank you. I'm just glad we lived to be here.
Right? So this was part of our main crew this weekend. We had Sparky and John and Frank. John and Frank, did you know those guys, or have you met those guys before this, Jeremy?
So I met Bronco 6 Gen or Frank on Instagram, and we kind of just fell into that Bronco crowd. And we messaged back and forth. I think that last time I did like the hike and drive video, I messaged him about, hey, sometime we'll have. He's like, man, I don't live that far away. So, and it was always in my mind, let's get another Bronco on. And then he invited John. So I didn't know John before this, and I'm truly glad he did invite him, because I thought those two guys were absolutely fantastic and class acts. So they were great guys.
Yeah,
absolutely. We definitely want to do it again. So, I mean, and not to mention, who doesn't want to ride around, and like their Broncos are so well done, man. Oh my goodness.
Oh, they are built nicely built.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how well you knew those guys. I thought that you kind of met them through Instagram and that, and there you go. Social media actually positive.
Yeah. Literally, that's what it should be designed for, and I mean, it kind of worked out well. So
and you just never know. You just never know when you haven't met somebody if they're going to work out,
Well, and I think we've talked about this before. Sometimes it's like you get people together in that group setting, it kind of releases the tension of having to communicate to just one-on-one, which sometimes can be difficult to draw out conversation. When you get a bunch of people together, especially if they're like-minded individuals, it's just, man, you just kind of click on all cylinders. So, like that.
Kind of like us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't even know. I didn't prepare for this. I told Chris, let's just wing it. We got this.
Wing it, man.
I mean, it's just such an awesome trip. I guess start at the beginning. So us four all showed up on Thursday night last week, and we stayed at Callie's campground.
Great
Jeremy was
campground,
gracious.
by the way.
Jeremy got there early, had us a killer spot.
Awesome.
Wish we could have got that the other night. But so we got there, set up camp, kind of hung out. Well, yeah, for quite a while that night. Got up the next morning and hit the trails. I'll probably lean on you, Jeremy, for trail names. I don't remember the first trail we hit. But so the first day on trail, it was us four. Chris was in my Tacoma, Jeremy's Bronco, and Lance's Jeep Renegade. And I thought those two trails were awesome the first day we did them. Was that Bob's trail?
Yeah. So a lot of those are just county roads. Like
right.
You know, when you look at you know, Fincastle or Pumpkin Hollow, or I mean, those are literally the names of a county road. So if you ever got in a wreck on them, I imagine it could be covered by insurance. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Good luck.
Yeah. But basically what I did is, I mean, there's a lot of places you can go and download the GPS coordinates, and it works for Gaia, especially like I know with my Bronco with the Sync 4 system, I can put Gaia right on the dash. So basically I just follow the red line the whole way around. But yeah, I mean, basically you're hitting roads, county roads, and I mean, you don't know what you're getting into.
Trenches.
Back alleys. That's right. That's right. Rush hour traffic at times.
Lance, so that since this was your first outing as an overlancer, what?
I see what you did there.
Not my first. It was like my second. Remember, I did here with you.
So what? Yeah. Okay, well, this a first major kind of one, or is this?
First major, I'd say first real trails. I've had that Jeep almost 7 years, and that's something I've always wanted to do, was take that thing out and actually test its limits. And, you know, and I know you guys kind of thought I was crazy, but people do it all the time. Yeah, I am. Yeah. I'm crazy, but people do it all the time. You know, they take these things out, and they do have surprisingly some decent chops to them. They, you know, and I think I kept up with you guys pretty well the first day.
You did.
Absolutely. I was impressed. I mean, it's a 4-wheel drive vehicle, and I think my thought was the only thing that may hold you up was the ground clearance.
Yeah.
But I mean,
picking
the right lines and help and spotting, you know what I mean? That was the thing. We could get you through a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't have a lift on it. I don't have huge tires. You know, they're just the standard size. They were all terrains, which helps definitely. But yeah, having you guys, you know, kind of tell me, you know, go here, turn your wheel, you know, spot me, definitely got me through. Yeah.
Awesome.
So Lance, I got a question for you, actually, if you guys don't mind. Like on that first obstacle, okay, so it's a pretty deep, you get a little off camber dropping in, you pull tires off the ground. I think Brian and myself went through it. Then you go around it, and I'm thinking it's not that bad. But then I look, and it's like, okay, you got a little off camber, pulled a tire off the ground, just getting around the actual obstacle. I mean, what were your thoughts then on that?
I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, this is awesome. It's the first time I've ever been on 3 wheels. This is sweet. I wasn't nervous. I mean, it felt pretty natural. It felt pretty good. Like I really wasn't worried on that first section we did. I'd say up to Fincastle, I was like, okay.
You were having fun up to that point.
I was having a good time. I really was.
So we'll get into that. So the first part of the trail was pretty mild. It had some ruts and stuff. Like we said, we could get Lance through just by spotting him and getting him on the right lines to get him through the low, you know, dealing with his low clearance.
There really wasn't any showstoppers. There weren't any anything.
No, I thought it was
away.
Yeah, pretty mild. So you made it through there, no problems. So then we get to Fincastle Road, and Fincastle Road down there is notorious for some pretty big rocks and a really big rock feature, big giant boulder that's in the middle of the road. And there's a gap between it and another rock, but you're just a little too wide unless you're side by side to get through. So the only way through it is over. We got there? Do that again? I missed
you started talking about Fincastle. We might as well. Woo! What's that? What's going on there?
There you go. I see it now on the replay. But so yeah, there's my Tacoma on that rock. But so before we got to that, Chris is just loving that my truck was just stuck. we told Lance, hey, this is the bypass right at the bottom of the hill. This is the bypass. Take this out. This should be just a gravel road all the way out to the other paved road, and we'll meet you here. We don't hear from each other, or if we're not at the camp at 2.5, 3, we're going to start come looking for one another, calling. We had radios, whatever. So that was the plan. So I don't know. It took us over 2 hours, I would say, for Jeremy and myself to get over Fincastle. I had way more problems than he did. I really got myself in a pickle on that one. You got any more pictures you want to throw up, Chris? Nothing?
No, that one says it all, really. But I think the thing that what cracked me up about when we got to that point was all of the brain power, that all of the steam that was coming out of both y'all's ears trying to figure out how to get you off that rock, and how to stack rocks, and how to call for a helicopter, whatever we did to get off that rock.
Well, I think what killed me is Jeremy and I, with his Bronco, my Tacoma, I think we're pretty close as far as ground clearance wise. I think it might hurt me. My wheelbase might be just a tad longer, and I don't have lockers. I think if I had lockers and I could get my back tires to push me up over instead of just one spinning, that may have helped. But when I slid off that upper bank on that side, and I was really close to falling off that ledge, that really freaked me out, because I'm thinking, I don't want to roll my truck upside down right here. So
now, what's your ground clearance for your guys' vehicles?
I've never measured it.
I think it's like 18 or something like that. And then
okay, so you're double.
I can't remember the departure and it's like 20 something approach. I don't know. I'm sure the Bronco 6 Gen, like Frank, I bet he knows that. Those guys, him and John, are pretty smart. They would probably know that. But I'm sure you could probably Google it and find it out. But
in this picture, it's 0.
I go till I hear scraping, and then I stop.
But you don't have a lift. Neither of you have a lift or anything, right?
It's lifted, but it's lifted from the factory. Yeah,
factory lift.
So I'm lifted with 35-inch tires. So
and see, mine's 3-inch lift, and I've got 33-inch tires, where factories are like 30s, something like that. So mine's not near stock, but just not quite enough to get up over that. I think maybe if I had 35s, I wouldn't have rubbed. So Jeremy and I, we both got a little damage off of Fincastle. I've got it in my video. I'm sure he'll be showing his too in his video.
I can roll a clip if you like.
Oh, if you got a clip. Well, Jeremy got into his passenger side rear door pretty good scrapes on that.
Yeah,
I think that would definitely hurt your heart a little bit, buddy.
It wasn't on Fincastle. It did. It wasn't even on Fincastle. It was after Fincastle. What kills me is, okay, so this is how it goes. Like, basically, it seems like with anything wheeling, you never know. You could do something 100 times. It doesn't. You don't pay attention for 1 second, and it can happen. You can just do something to damage your car, and it's a really sharp turn left and then a really sharp turn right to get around these 2 rock features that are in the walls after you come off of the Fincastle rock. And the last time I did it with 2 wheels up versus all 4 wheels on the rock, just because I didn't have guard, like any type of steel plating or armor on my gas tank. This time I had that, so I wanted to try the official line. So I go up over it. Well, I just found out that it's that much harder to go right, especially since the Bronco's a little wider and its body lines are a little wider than Jeep's. So it makes it a little tougher to get around that rock. And instead of, getting out and checking and making sure, I made the mistake that cost me. Yeah.
Yep. So he got into that rock, and when I slid off the one ledge on the passenger side, my truck came with the factory Predator steps or whatever, and they're fine if you're never going to take it off road. But I showed real quick this past weekend how horrible they are off road. They really limit your ground clearance. And on that one, when I slid off, that ledge caught the front step and bent it completely up to where it was pretty much broke. We literally just grabbed it and pulled it the rest of the way
on the passenger side.
Yeah, passenger side.
So I was inconvenienced.
Yeah, you had to lift your leg a little bit higher to get into the truck sweep.
Right. And
it wasn't the first time.
Right.
Lance with the win. Yes.
Oh,
I've seen your twerking skills. I got video of it, buddy.
I know.
Oh, I do too.
So he was like, "Hey guys, get in a circle. Let me get in the middle. Twerk, twerk."
So With Fincastle, we ended up getting over. We stacked a lot of rocks to get my truck out of there. We had these traction boards, my traction boards. Thank you, Jeremy, again for all the help because that was a workout. I think we were both like
still be there. Yeah.
Chris just stood there and like, I don't know what to do.
But, I filmed, and I moved 3 rocks.
Right. But it took us quite a while.
Winch.
Yeah, that he did. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Jeremy had to turn around and pull me a little bit farther with the winch, and then we saw rocks and got me off of that. So that was fun. I can't say I did get over the rock, but I had some assistance. So we get through that section and we climb the hill. And it's a pretty good hill to climb all the way up out of there. The rest of the way, a lot of big boulders and hills. So we're celebrating, and we hear Lance is getting a hold of Jeremy. Next thing we know, well, the bypass that we sent Lance on was probably just as tough, if not tougher, than what we just did. So we really sent Lance to his doom on this one. You want to talk about that, Lance, a little bit?
Sure. Yeah.
How'd you feel?
So I got off on this bypass to get around Fincastle, and I don't know how far I went, but there were some sketchy areas, like some ups and downs. I thought I was going to get stuck 4 or 5 times. I'm like, this is crazy. This is not easy. But I made it through, and then I got right to the end, almost the end. I think I had like half a mile or something left, something like that. And I reached this point where it's basically the base of a mountain, and it's like an ATV trail straight up. What would you say, Jeremy, the angle was of this thing?
I would say a solid 16, 17 degrees. I mean, it was pretty, yeah. And you're talking like Kentucky clay and ruts. You're not talking like on a flat
Huge
road,
ruts.
16, 17. Yeah. Like picnic table size ruts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit.
So I'm like, I pretty much, I know my limitations here. So I'm like, what the crap am I going to do here? So I'm looking for a way out. So there's another road that goes straight, and it kind of goes around this concrete thing, but then it dead ends with giant concrete blocks. I'm like, well, I'm not getting out that way. So I'm looking luckily I have Gaia up, and I'm looking at the route, and I'm like, well, I don't see any other way out of here. This is the only way I can get. I have to go out of this mountain. So I'm freaking out because I'm like, what the heck? I can't do this in this Jeep. So fortunately I had 2 bars of service on my phone. So I'm calling these. I think all 3 of you guys. I'm calling you. I'm on the GMRS. I'm like, guys, anybody. I'm like hitting the emergency. I'm like hitting the emergency alarm button. Like, please, God, somebody.
911.
Somebody help me. So then at one point, these people that we had passed on these side by sides, we had passed them at one point, and then they passed me. Well, I was too proud to ask them for help, so I just let them go by me, and they just went up this mountain, and I'm like, I leave these guys a voicemail, and we get back in touch with each other. So Jeremy's like, I'll come down and get you. So he gets you get to the top of you get back to the top of the mountain, right?
Yeah. So I was at the top of your road. I think it was Walker Creek Road, I believe is the name of it.
Creek.
Yep.
Yeah. Cause I got that road down. I want to do that road now. So
You got to.
Of course you do.
So, but I ran into those ATV guys at the top of the road, and so I drove by them thinking that was the road that you're on, and it was like some resort. I think the same road that Chris, you, and Brian went on. So I turn around, come back. Yeah. So I come back and I said, hey, is that Walker Creek Road? And some guy comes up walking to me, and I'll my best impersonation of that guy. He goes, yeah. I'm like, okay, you're never going to get down it. I'm like, oh, okay. Is it that bad? Yeah. I was like, oh.
You're like, I'm sorry, what? Excuse me? Is that a challenge?
So he goes, you'll never get down it. I was like, well, my buddy's down there. I need to get to him and try to help him. see if he can, if I can get him up. He ain't gonna make it either. He's like, there's trees in the way. There's like deep lakes you got to drive through. That's 36 feet deep. We ended up side on one tire, and I mean, just every excuse in the book on why I shouldn't go down there. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh. so I know I can make it. But honestly, I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, if I try to get down there and it's that bad and I get stuck, then we're in a whole other world too. Cause now we got 2 vehicles that are stuck on the same road. So I call, he tells me, he goes, what he needs to do is turn around, go back the other way, and the first road on the right, he needs to turn down. I'm like, okay. So I tell Lance that, and I think Lance is backing up.
Crying.
And he's like,
I was halfway up.
It was, he
up.
was stressed. So he's on this mountain with all these ruts, like in the middle of it, and backs up. Next thing I know, I hear, I'm up on 2 wheels. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not good. So I said, all right, hold on, don't move. So at that point, I give Chris my key fob to the Bronco. I said, here, you may need this. In case I die, just keep it.
It's yours.
Yeah. So I just started to run down there, and that guy literally hollered at me. He's like, be sure not to run through that puddle. It's pretty deep. so I run down and get to Lance.
That
Lance was, yeah, right. Lance was already back on 4 tires, and we get him. Well, first off, I couldn't believe how far he made it. Like, I'll just be completely honest with you. Like, if you would have said, take this Jeep up this road, I wouldn't have thought he would have made it a third of the way that he actually made it. So I was incredibly impressed. And I asked Lance, I was like, yeah. So I said, Lance, how did you make it here? It's like, how did you make it here? He goes, I prayed.
So the power of prayer. Jesus.
Yeah. I was like, I believe it because it's a miracle.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, turning around, I mean, like, what were you going through when you were going up that stuff? I mean, just like, were you hearing lots of bad noises?
some scrapes and stuff. Yeah. I honestly don't know how I didn't destroy the entire bottom of my vehicle. I don't know how I didn't rip out the differential or something. Cause, I was hitting some big rocks. I'm like, I'm trying to avoid them. I remember what you said. Yeah. It's like, find the highest rock and go over that. It's like, okay,
put your tires on it. Yeah.
Put your tires on it. But there were just certain parts where I actually got stuck there was like a big, huge rock, and I couldn't go forward. And then I had trouble backing up. It was a bad place. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the struggle with your car is it doesn't really have much of a low range. I know Brian could probably attest to this too. Like without that lower range, it's like you're all gas. So just trying to go over something.
Since it's not a trail hawk.
We know you're all gas.
The trail hawk has 4 low, so I would have had better luck with that.
Yeah, 4 low is that's nice when you're in those positions. So Jeremy gets to Lance, he gets him turned around, and while we're waiting to hear back from them, Chris and I were just kind of hanging out, eating some zucchini bread my wife made us, and drinking cold drinks, and we're hanging out, and finally.
Meanwhile, I'm trail running after throwing rocks with Brian.
So
Sloan, you are absolutely right.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
So we're starting to talk to this one couple that came up, and they had seen Jeremy and Lance in there, and the woman says, hey, best way for them to get out, go up the creek, make this left, first right. That'll take you out at Cliffview Resort. It's gravel, no problem. So we finally got that information to him. And Chris and I grabbed Jeremy's Bronco in my truck. We headed that way, and boom, here we come. Finally met up with him. So that was pretty much the first day adventure. After that, we're like, let's go back and just lick our wounds and eat some food.
Yeah. Jeremy walked me down, and I backed down. How far did I back down?
Quite a ways, because we were trying to find a safe spot to turn around, because you're literally on it's a 2-lane, but still 2-lane to turn around when you're on a drop on the right side.
So not only did I do it forward, I did it backward as well.
Yeah, a good chunk of it.
But he got me.
And when he turned around,
you got me turned around. We go down, and literally we find that road, and what was it, like a quarter of a mile of gravel, and then we hit the highway. Yeah. I was like, "Are you kidding?
Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
I was like, And like like I told you guys, I said, if I had not attempted to do that mountain climb, I probably I wouldn't have done any damage to my vehicle on that trip because I didn't go.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
the second.
So
But
on
you
that
wouldn't
first
have
after
day,
that,
such a great story.
right?
Yeah.
well,
So
Meanwhile,
I ripped off a side panel of my vehicle.
It's a great story.
And yeah, but it's just cosmetic damage. I looked under there, and it's fine. I washed all the mud off yesterday, and I'm like, man, I got lucky. I got really lucky.
yeah, I didn't run to spot you. I was running to pick up plastic pieces and just throw them in the back along the way.
Shovel.
You're like, how much of your car's made out of plastic?
That's right.
Thank goodness.
That's
Recycle,
right.
would you?
So would you lose a side piece on that passenger door? You lost
passenger
a
side
piece.
panel. I lost. There's like a flap that's in the front. I don't even know why it's there, but it's gone. And I'm like, well, good riddance. I don't even want that piece of crap. So it kind of helped me out in a way. Lost another front piece that fits in my bumper like a cover, but it's like $11 to replace that. So it's little stuff. No, not that big. All I need is clips. I need to buy some clips to put the panel back on. But I actually did. I looked at it after I washed all the mud off. I did dent the door. Like I actually bent some of the passenger side, not the frame, but the metal. The sheet metal under there.
Right.
It did get bent, but it could have been so much worse. So,
But what you gained was 100 points of testosterone.
At least.
Did I win the prize of being the dumbest idiot?
No, you.
No, not at all. Not at all. You got a story for a lifetime. I mean, you never accomplish anything, and you never find your limits, and you never live unless you try. You know what I mean? So, I mean, to me, Lance, you get the hero medallion for trying. So, and doing as much as you did. So I come in thinking, I'm like, oh, we're gonna be towing this toaster all the way back.
Yeah.
But you went so much further than what I thought. But
Sloan was asking. Sloan was asking what kind of Jeep. It's a Jeep Renegade Latitude, so it's not even a Trailhawk edition. So
you made it one.
Yeah. And I told Chris, I said I never bought that to really take extreme off-roading. I bought it just to get to trailheads and stuff. But I always kind of wanted to see what it could really do. So, it's a 2016. It's almost 7 years old. It's going to my kids. So I'm like, well, if it happens.
Let's mess it up a bit.
If I was driving something, a $70,000 Gladiator, I would be terrified. I would be absolutely sketched out.
Let's humble those kids with a scratched up vehicle.
Yeah, they can't give them brand new. Here you go, boys. Dad's done with this.
Oh,
now.
they can. I won't be handing them an armful of pieces and be like, "Here you go, put it back together." You know what I really? I gotta go back to focus here. You know what I really want though? I want whatever those guys were driving that passed us on the second day, and the guy was gunning it through the mud. But that loud.
Oh, that tracker.
Was it a tracker?
It was a tracker.
There was
a guy sitting.
Oh,
Samurai. Yeah,
he was gunning it through the mud, and it sounded like it was going to explode. It was awesome. I'm like, I want a beater vehicle that I can four wheel like that. Yeah.
Honestly, he struggled getting through some of that stuff more than we did, though. Like even Brian without lockers.
Floor.
Yeah, I walked right through it. I didn't have any trouble, and he about got stuck.
Yeah. Well, your tires
that had to do with the average BMI that was in the car.
Yeah, I had a lot of weight in my truck pushing down on the tires.
Because there's some big boys in that little Suzuki.
Oh, you meant I thought you meant my truck.
No, I'm talking about the Suzuki. There was a high average BMI in that one.
Yeah, the Suzuki as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of day one in a nutshell. We ended up going back to Coomer Ridge that night, and like I said, we set up camp, and Sparky showed up that night, so that was good. And we got a little rain, but hanging out with the guys, man. So I guess we go to day 2, and that is where John that we were mentioning earlier showed up. So 2 more Broncos showed up.
Yep.
And both very capable vehicles. You got pictures? Come on,
No,
IT guy.
I wish I did.
Oh,
I don't.
You suck. Anyways, next.
Check out my Instagram, atodd_16.
Hold on.
There you go.
Maybe. I don't know.
I've got some on mine
Keep
too.
talking amongst
I think I
yourselves.
have some on mine too, the Outland channel.
So Lance decided it was best. Like these trails would be a little rougher than what we did the day before, and it rained overnight, so it was nice and gooey and muddy. And he decided to ride in the Raptor with Sparky, which ended up being, I was really impressed with that thing, as big and wide as it is. I mean, it's got the horsepower, 4-wheel drive, lockers, all that stuff, but as big as it was, man, there were some spots in the trails that were a little nerve-wracking.
I'll tell you, it's a lot less stressful when you're not driving your own vehicle and you're just riding with somebody else. Oh, okay, this is fun. This is great.
I've heard that from David Gray at least like 5 times now.
This is great over here. Just
not my car.
Yeah, it's yours. Beat it, dude.
I'm cracking open beers. No, just kidding.
So day 2, we hit Pumpkin Hollow first, and then finished up on Spas Creek. Both of them had some really good climbs, mud holes, drop off, you name it. It threw everything at us. We ran both of them in reverse because John that was with us, he had ran them quite a few times, and he said that would have been the easier way, especially since
with the Raptor.
Yeah. There you go. There's Jeremy's on the left and then John in the middle. Frank's is on the right.
Yeah.
So, capable rigs right there. But they kept me and Sparky in the middle between them because Sparky and I did not have an inch. So didn't have to use them, but nonetheless. So I'm trying to remember. We've seen the first big hill climb. That was pretty muddy. That's where the samurai passed us. He about got stuck, but we all made it up that. And I'm trying to think, it was too long after that. We came down that other hill, and that's where I broke off. And you'll see it in my video if you watch it. I broke off my second step on the driver's side. So we got that one in video, and you can just hear it just crack.
Oh, yeah.
And when it did come up,
I was standing there when it happened. Yeah, I was oh my God, it's just peeling right off. There it goes.
It did just peel right off like a little can opener, and it did scratch my door a little bit down the bottom, but nothing big. So I don't know. Day 2, we didn't have as much as far as getting stuck and everything, but it seemed to me like it was a longer ride than day 1.
Yeah.
But very enjoyable, just great trails, nothing too gnarly.
Was day 2 that narrow
waterfall
creek?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, that's on Spas Creek. Yeah.
Yeah. Spas Creek.
Yeah, there was so on Spas Creek there was a waterfall that you drop down, and there are like ledges on each side you have to fit between. Well, I have a problem. My Tacoma's pretty narrow, but Sparky with the Raptor, hopefully when you guys have it on video, I was too far behind. I didn't get him going through but
I have it.
And he had just like an inch on each side for his truck to get through there. The rest of us got through there pretty good. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
That's where my Renegade would have come in handy because that,
you would have got right through that.
Size, I would have gone right through it like nothing. Probably.
It's the drop that would have got you, though.
The drop, yeah.
Yeah.
I probably could have made, honestly, about 60-70% of that trail.
Yeah.
And then the other 30%.
Most of it has bypasses. There's bypasses around
there were a lot of bypasses around the water. The deep. There was a section of deep water that we all went through, but there was a bypass around it. I'm like, I could have gone around that.
Yeah.
So when you were like, there's also a ledge that there was 2 things where I told Sparky about doing it because I've done Spas Creek like 3 times now. I said I was worried about the waterfall you fitting, and then I was worried about the ledge that is not. It's all washed out, and it's like about a 4-foot drop. So if you drop 2 tires off of it, you're going to slide and end up on your lid. So I was kind of worried about that for the Raptor, and he was like scraping the wall with his driver tires. And then the passenger tires, the wall of the tires was hanging over the ledge. Like there literally was no more room. What was your thoughts when you're going through that, Lance? Because you were on the driver's seat.
Oh, I'm just
the
like
passenger seat.
Oh God!
Were you leaning towards him?
I did.
Slid to the middle.
I did. I'm like, oh God! Oh, please don't flip because it's going to be me. I was trying to keep my mouth shut and not make him nervous.
Yeah,
but,
how was he during those things? Since he's not signed on, we can talk about him. So I've always thought
totally
of him as cool as cucumber, and
totally cool. There were only maybe 1 or 2 points where after the fact that he was like, "Oh, okay, that was a little sketchy," but like for the most part, he was very cool. I mean, for having that, that big, expensive vehicle, I mean, I would have crapped my pants.
I'd like to think that I was equally cool during our riding.
I'm sure you were.
No, not at all.
No, I was.
Oh my God! When we went through that spot you were just talking about, we got to go through that. What? I was like, he's way wider than us. We have no problem.
I was a little girl. I was.
There was a few times I would just laugh because it scared him a little bit. We got in some little predicaments, nothing major, but when you're on a ledge and it's a big drop off on the other side of that, nothing like what Jeremy's done out west, but you start thinking, well, if this falls, it's going to flop over on my side. It would suck.
It's enough that you'd be hating life. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I'll tell you, I've been more off camber on parts of the byway than I was anywhere in Telluride Ouray area. I mean,
that's
literally.
what you were saying.
Yeah. There's parts like, I mean, I'm literally driving on like a 15, 16 degree angle in the byway in places. Granted, there's not like a 900-foot drop off 6 inches from your tire, but still, it's like you don't feel like. It's something about the byway. It comes up and it shocks you. You don't see it coming or whatever if you've never done it before. And like dropping into Spas Creek before the waterfall, we went the other way. So I used to love that one because you'd really get a back tire in the air. Well, I didn't realize going backwards, it felt just as bad, if not worse.
Yep. Yeah. Incredible trails. And it's an incredible trip. Like I said, we got some body damage. Nothing we can't get fixed, right?
Yeah.
I would just say for anybody who's, thinking about doing this, know your vehicle's capabilities, know your limitations, I guess, and don't underestimate it. Like Jeremy said, because there are some difficult areas. I mean,
and if you don't know your vehicle's capabilities, just take it down there like Lance did and said, "I'm going for it, boys. Let's roll."
Or just tear your car apart.
Throw caution to the wind.
Right.
Do you think a Nissan Frontier would make it through that?
Oh, those are junk. Never make it.
I don't know.
I mean,
I think it would.
But
I think it would.
First mud puddle, it'd be done. We're just trying to get Brian.
Don't they come with lockers? They come with lockers, don't they?
Rear locker, I believe.
West, you got lockers?
Yeah. I think West has a rear locker. I think they do. The model that his does, or he has, comes with one. I wonder if is it the Pro 4X or something. He'll put it in here. No. Oh, it's on now. No locker.
Wow.
Oh,
Tacoma versus Nissan Frontier, looks like.
Yeah.
So, Brian, your tires, I got to tell you, your tires were incredible for what you did. So, like when we did that little ATV hill, you could hear them gripping. It was crazy. So I don't know if you want to talk about
Should
those.
we share that?
The Yokohamas, is that what those?
Yeah. I've bought Yokohama Geolanders I just put on, and I went from the Nitto Ridge Grapplers, which are like a hybrid. But these Geolanders, man, I never felt like I had traction, or I was going downhill or uphill climbing. Those things I aired down to 20 psi, and I had all the traction I ever wanted. My wheels were on the ground.
Share that hill. Do you guys want me to share that?
Throw it on there. You got a clip? Let's show these guys sneak peeks.
Let's go to the clip.
Oh, look at this.
Hopefully it'll work with all this bandwidth.
Is this the what you guys were calling the ATV?
This is the ATV,
yeah.
We're gonna. This is Jeremy going over it first. I apologize if the bandwidth doesn't allow for it.
I did not attempt this, by the way.
Yeehaw! Like it was nothing.
Yeah, he just went right up it.
And see, that doesn't even look like it's thing on camera. That's what's horrible. It looks like it's a little wimpy.
It was like a 6 or 8 foot. More maybe. Right? 10?
It was probably about a 12 or 15, and I think it said at one point it said 26 degrees.
Yeah, I mean it was steep, and it's
you standing there. Yeah. For me, whoever's standing there.
So here's the tire. So he's getting geared up, and I apologize. We got a lot of bandwidth going out, so
Look, I had my steps then. Oh,
Remember steps?
I remember those.
Yeah,
my
I was inconvenienced.
And I'm down there going, "Have fun, guys. I'll see
Yeah.
ya. Have fun storming the castle."
Crap, man,
Oh,
come on.
man, come on, play, baby. Yeah, I had zero trouble on there. And any of those, what you're filming, it sucks. I mean, who are you filming, Lance or me?
He just can't get his camera off me.
There's the tires, though. That shows the tires.
Yeah.
Yeah, those tires are fantastic, man.
I've got that on what did I put that on?
All right,
Was it my short I'll put on YouTube? I don't know. I've put up so much, just little clips. I can't remember where it's at, but I've got better footage of that than Chris has because my footage is better than his.
Well, the best part of that was that you didn't hear on the end of it because I go after you got up, then I go, "All right, Lance, come on." You're like, "No."
Oh, I've got that on the unedited clip of mine. You can hear that for sure. I looked at it yesterday. I was like, "That's hilarious."
It was just dirt. It was just dirt.
You could have. I think you
could have got up there.
It was a little ruddy, but you could have done it.
Yep.
After what I did later in the day, that I never thought I would do in a million years.
I mean, what's a couple more plastic pieces?
Right. We'll buy more.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a good trip, guys. If any of you ever went down there, I would say do your research, but
yeah,
that's a fun ride.
And the other thing is, cell service is almost non-existent on a lot of it. So that's what I was really worried about, was that I was never going to be able to reach these guys to get some help.
Oh, wait a minute.
But had I didn't realize I was half a mile from the highway. So that should have tipped me off that I was close to getting out of there because I had 2 bars of service.
Yeah.
But our radios weren't working. I mean, you weren't that far from me, and you have a 5 mile range on your GMRS?
1 to 2.
Oh, 1 to 2. Okay.
Yeah.
But I know you weren't that far, but I couldn't get you on the radios either just because of the terrain.
Right. We have a special guest.
Uh-oh.
And hopefully he's ready. So hopefully you're ready, Sparky. Here he is.
Sparky!
What's up, man?
Hey, guys.
There he is.
How's everyone doing?
Good, man. How you been? Did you get that dirty truck washed up yet?
Yeah.
No, I'm saving it.
Right? Mine's still dirty too. It's like war paint.
So for those of you guys that don't know, Sparky was driving the Raptor.
The biggest truck ever go on the Daniel Boone Byway, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if that's crazy or good, but I had a blast either way. You guys were great, and all the help, support, and it really made the trip fun. So thank you for inviting me. I really do appreciate it. So
I just wanted to record a Raptor on the Byway because I've never seen that before. I knew you were crazy enough to do it.
You did really well, man.
Thank you.
I was like, wow, he's just doing this like it's nothing.
Hey, so we talked about 2 things. I don't know if you caught it, but we talked about 2 things that you did, and the waterfall and the ledge. What were your thoughts going through those 2 obstacles?
A lot of praying, number one. It was funny because I was so focused. We had talked a little bit earlier that I didn't get to really see any of the sights. So when I'm going back and watching a lot of your videos and clips, it was really beautiful. And I think Lance brought it up and he's like, yeah, this is really beautiful out there. I couldn't tell you anything because my hands were so tight on the steering wheel and I was praying to God I would survive and make it through it. So,
see, you kept it really hidden because we didn't know that you were nervous.
Yeah. So, I really appreciated everyone spotting and helping out and pointing things out. But yeah, it was, when you only have a few inches or millimeters to make it through some of that, it was terrifying, but fun at the same time. So, it's really difficult to describe the feeling I was going through, but, I had a blast. It was well worth it, but white-knuckled and terrifying during those 2 points, really. And then I was just glad to be able to make it through. Not that I knew I was going to make it through. I just didn't want to have any, no offense, Lance, body panels or anything falling off, because I know that's very difficult and tough to deal with. So,
or scratches on your door.
Yeah.
I was just trying to step up.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So Sparky comes to me after we're all done. He said, "Hey, I got a dent in my truck." And I'm like, "Are you serious?" He goes, "Yeah, I didn't make it through unscathed." I was like,
Oh no.
"You're kidding me." He's like, "No, come look at it." And he goes over, look, and it's like a tiny little dent in his tailpipe. Like just the tiniest little bump in it. I'm like, "Oh, I hate you."
You've already fixed, didn't you?
That's something I ended up with too on my exhaust from Fincastle. It's flat on the bottom now on that one spot.
So one thing I'd like to mention, and is, yes, we got some body damage to trucks and stuff, but how about that food? How about them chili dogs? I mean,
I missed
Daddy
them.
wants to talk about that food.
Guess who brought the leftover chili home?
Did you bring it?
Who did?
Oh yeah, I guess you did. Didn't you?
Why, yes, I did.
I mean, this is the second time I've been honored to put those into my gullet, and I have to say that chef's kiss for those chili dogs, man. I could eat those all day.
Well, that's going to be a staple for these trips, so we'll make it a tradition.
So Brian West said a Ram Power Wagon do it, and I think on Cottywomple Overlanding. Yeah. Their buddy Kelly.
I think a Raptor's got to be wider, though. I'm pretty sure a Raptor's wider than a Power.
Those Power Wagons they're tall and wide and whatever, but I don't know if they're as wide as a Raptor.
They're not, because I think that's why they have to have those lights on the front of them, is because they're DOT standards. They're so wide they have to have the 3 lights in different areas.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
Do it all in 2-wheel drive. I hear you, Tony. VW Bug
in his
back
Cadillac.
together and do it in 2-wheel drive. And now he says he's going to have to put his old VW Bug back together and do it in 2-wheel drive. All right, we'll follow you.
Do it, make a video of it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So everybody here that has channel is going to put a video out, or what we got going on? Chris, you going to be lazy and not do it, or what?
My video will not be out for about 3 weeks.
Good Lord.
Because I'm going to work on it like I promised I would do for the new channel. By the way, Adventure Way Pictures, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm going to work on it. But I know you have one, Brian, that you have coming out. When's that coming out?
I already got it uploaded to YouTube. All I have to do is just make it public. So I plan on doing
how
that after.
How long did that take to upload? I'm just curious.
Oh, about 6.5, 7 hours upload it.
Okay.
So
it'll take me about 40.
Yeah, I cut it down. I kept cutting it down. I tried to just show everything I wanted to show, but too much, and it's still 46 minutes. So sorry, people. It's a long one, but it's got a lot of fun stuff in it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make it public after this. So if you feel like staying up late,
like a premiere, should we go right to the premiere after this?
I'll flip it over to there. You go. Have at it.
Let's do
You want
it.
to stay up late tonight? You don't have anything better to do? It'll be live.
What about you, Lance? What you got going on?
Probably about a week or so. I'll have mine out. Yeah, I'm editing it now.
Are you okay, Jeremy? Are you going to do one, or are you just going to let me do one?
I'm going to let you do one. I might do one after I get her fixed, because then I can look at the video. I'm having a hard time right now. I know Brian always says it's just sheet metal, but it still cuts like butter.
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts and prayers for your Bronco.
Actually, side note, I'll go ahead and announce this. So I had the mind to do an upgrade on Sassy when I first got her. And I was talking to a company about doing it. Now with this body damage, it doesn't change that. I'm still able to do it. And I talked to another company for the repair, and they're going to do the upgrade, and I'm actually getting it done probably for like $500 less. So
nice.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So shout out to Bowers Paint and Body in Decatur. That dude is amazing. And he's got muscle cars in his garage, so he's probably pretty decent. So,
Right.
Oh, your body.
yeah, I was looking at like 60s and 70, or was like a 70 something Chevelle. I don't know what year it was, but I do know that style of Chevelle is pretty freaking nice.
Sweet.
Nice. So if there's anybody watching this that manufacturer of rock sliders for third gen Tacomas, I'm in the market. If you want to hook me up, I'll do a review, sponsor or something. Well, come talk to me about the rock sliders for third gen Tacoma. Come on.
Rock sliders for all your 4x4 needs.
Right.
Same goes for Renegade parts. If there's anybody who wants to sponsor me,
right?
Valkyrie, maybe.
I did get an email from a China company that was talking to me about upgrading my headlights. I mean, for what that's worth. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What, Oxbeam?
No. Although I think Oxbeam asked David Gray about looking for a sponsorship on his Colorado video.
Dude, I love my Oxbeam.
That nonsense.
Yeah, right. Get them for your Bronco.
Yeah.
Oh, good times. Well, guys, I appreciate everybody stopping in and saying hi tonight. It's been a blast. Just to relive it. What a trip. We're going to definitely have to get down there again. And hopefully I got rock sliders by then. And we'll get over Fincastle and not tear anything up next time. Lot is definitely in the plans for me as well. So I got to keep up with them Broncos.
So also, I want to mention, make sure you subscribe to Carlson Adventures, Outland. Is it Outland Outdoors?
Outdoors.
It's Outland Outdoors. Yeah.
Okay.
Just look
Outland Outdoors, and then Todd, All Things Outdoors. If you can find him, make sure you subscribe to him. And then
Sparky's All Things
Indoors, right?
All things.
That's right. One video.
You never know when another video will pop up.
But anyway, great trip. And we hope to do it again, right? We could make this a yearly thing, right?
Why not bi-yearly? I mean,
I was gonna say 2 times a year. I'm down.
I'm down. I'm down whenever Brian's driving. I'm down.
I mean, the older we get, guys, this is easier in backpacking,
Yeah, that's a good point. You got to find alternatives to breaking your body.
Right.
Last thing. The other announcement I want to make: October 21st to the 23rd, Charles C. Dean Wilderness Horse Camp. What the hell's it called?
Blackwell
Horse Camp. I haven't been there so long. That is the next YouTube meetup. I need y'all to be there. I need you to bring your A game because we're going to have a lot of fun. I don't know that I'll be doing a lot of we're not going to have movie night or anything like that, but we might still have a giveaway because I still got stuff to get rid of. So,
welcome to Chris's track.
Right. I want to make sure everybody knows. So I'm going to make a reminder video on that hiking guide, and Carlson will probably make one too.
I'll put something out too to remind everybody about it. For sure.
Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you guys for coming. We appreciate it, and thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, Jeremy, thanks for putting this all together. It was just kind of your idea, getting everybody together. Appreciate it, man. As always, class act.
Yeah. Dude, it was fun for me. So I mean, I had a blast with you guys. So it's always, like I said, you get like-minded individuals, and I think me and Sparky's been friends for I don't even know how long, like 2 decades at this point, but actually over 2 decades. Holy cow!
It's kind of like a marriage. It just flies by seamlessly with no remorse or regrets.
And that's why we love Sparky.
That is why. Yeah. I think my favorite line from him.
Well, thanks again, everyone. I really appreciate it. I had a blast.
Yeah. My favorite Sparky line was when Brian got hung up in the mud and he hollers at him, "Hey, you can't park there."
Yeah.
But yeah, thank
so
you
many
guys
good
for
one-liners.
coming, I just had a blast. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, you could write a book. Like, for real.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and
have a good night.
We'll see y'all.
See you guys.
All right.
Please get out there and explore.
That's my line.
I'll use it first.